Today we will continue chapter 6 lines and angles. First we will learn some axioms, then we will learn some theorems. Then by using these axioms and theorems we will do exercise 6.2 we will do. In previous class we have done some axioms and some theorems also we did. I forgot to explain the difference between axiom and theorem. Axiom and theorem. Axioms. Axioms and theorems in mathematics. Both of them are mathematical statements. Axiom is a mathematical statement. Theorem is also a mathematical statement. The difference between them: axioms are universal truth based on logic. Axioms are universal truth. Both of them are mathematical statements, but axioms are universal truth based on logic. It is considered as self-evident. No need of any proof to believe it. So that is axioms. Example: the whole is greater than. The whole is greater than the part. The whole is greater than the part. So this is a line segment AB, and when we divide it into two parts, so we can take it as AC and BC. BC is part of AB. BC is part of AB, but AB is greater than BC. The whole is greater than the part. So that is a universal truth. No need of any proof to believe it, and it is self-evident. So that type of mathematical statements are called axioms. Then theorems. Theorems are also mathematical statements, but theorems are proven statements. Theorems are proven statements. But some mathematicians proved these statements with the help of axioms, or by using some theorems, or by using some logic, etc. So they are called theorems, proven statements. So here we need a proof to believe the statement. Here we need a proof to believe the statement, but here no need of any proof to believe the statement. This is considered as self-evident. But this is not considered as self-evident, and these are the proven statement. So some mathematicians proved that statement. So that is the main difference between axioms and theorems. So now we are going to learn some axioms, then we will learn some theorems, then we will start exercise 6.2. So here we will learn about parallel lines and a transversal. In lower class you learned transversal and parallel lines. If a line intersected two or more lines at different points. If a line, this is one line, this is another line, this is third line. If a line intersected two or more lines at different points, then we can say that this line is the transversal. So here L, P, Q and R. Here P, Q, R are three lines. They are not parallel lines. Sometimes they may be parallel lines, but here they are not parallel lines. Then the fourth line intersect P, Q, R at different points. So we can say that this fourth line L is transversal. But in this case, two lines and the third one, two lines, then this is the third line and this is the fourth line. So here L is a line, P, then Q, R. So both the figures are different. Here L intersect P, Q, R at two points, but here L intersect P, Q, R at different points. So here one point is common point of intersection, of Q and R. L is passing through. Here point of intersection of L and Q equal to point of intersection of L and R. That is same. So this is not a transversal. So we cannot say L is a transversal in this figure. But here L is a transversal. So transversal is if a line intersect two or more lines at different points. So here L is intersecting three lines at three different points. If it is intersecting two lines at two different points, then we can call it as transversal. But here it is not intersecting at different points because here three lines are there, but we have only 2 points. If they intersect three lines at 3 points, see, this one is a transversal. Another line M. Line M intersect P, Q and R at different points. So we can say that M is a transversal. So that is a transversal, the lines. Then here if a line intersected two lines, if a transversal intersected two lines, this is one line and this is another line, then this is a transversal. Transversal L intersect M and N. This is M, N, and transversal L intersect M and N at two different points. Now we have different angles. So we can take it as 1, 2, 3. Here 1, 2, 3, 4. Then angle 5, 6, 7 and 8. So we got different angles. Then in lower class you learned corresponding angles, alternate interior angles, alternate exterior angles, then co-interior angles or angles on the same side of the transversal, interior angles on the same side of the transversal. So first we can take corresponding angles. Corresponding angles. So here angle 1 and angle 5 are corresponding angles. 4 and 8, 2 and 6, 3 and 7. So these are the corresponding angles, pair of corresponding angles. Angle 1 and angle 5. Angle 1, angle 5. That is first pair. Then angle 4 and angle 8. Angle 4, comma angle 8. Then angle 2, angle 6. Angle 2, angle 6. Then angle 3, angle 7. Angle 3, angle 7. So these are the corresponding angles. So we have 4 pairs of corresponding angles. The next one, alternate interior angles. Alternate interior angles. Alternate interior angles. In lower class you learned these all things. Alternate interior angles. Angle, we have 2 pairs of alternate interior angles. Angle 4 and 6, 5 and 3. Angle 3 and angle 5. That is one pair. Alternate interior angles. Angle 4 and angle 6. Angle 4 and angle 6. So we have 2 pairs of alternate interior angles. Then we have alternate exterior angles. Alternate exterior angle. Exterior angles. So alternate exterior angles 1 and 7, 2 and 8. Angle 1, angle 7. Then angle 2, angle 8. So they are called alternate exterior angle. The next one is co-interior angles or interior angles on the same side of transversal. Co-interior angles. Co-interior angles, or we can say interior angles on the same side of transversal. So 3, 4, 5, 6 are called interior angles. 1, 2, 7, 8 are called exterior angles. Then interior angles on the same side of transversal, that is 4 and 5, left side. Then 3 and 6. So we have angle 4, angle 5, then angle 3, angle 6. So interior angles on the same side of transversal. Interior angles on the same side of transversal. So interior angles on the same side of transversal, angle 4 and angle 5 left side and angle 3 and angle 6 right side. So these are the different pairs of angles we get when a transversal intersect two lines. So here we cannot say here the two lines are not parallel. So these are the angles. So we have some axioms. So first axiom is if a transversal intersected two parallel lines, then each pair of corresponding angles is equal. If a transversal intersect two parallel lines, that is, if M parallel to N. If M parallel to N, then each pair of corresponding angles is equal. Each pair of corresponding angles is equal. That is the first axiom. If M parallel to N, then we can say angle 1 equal to angle 5, angle 4 equal to angle 8, angle 2 equal to angle 6, angle 3 equal to angle 7. So each pair of corresponding angles is equal. So that is axiom 6.3. Then the converse of that axiom is if any one pair of corresponding angles is equal. If any one pair of corresponding angles is equal. Suppose angle 1 and angle 5 are equal. Then we can say the lines are parallel. If any one pair of corresponding angles is equal, then the lines are parallel. So that is the converse of theorem axiom 6.3. So axiom 6.3, that is, if a transversal intersected two parallel lines, then each pair of corresponding angles is equal. Then if a transversal intersected two lines such that a pair of corresponding angles is equal, then the two lines are parallel to each other. That is the converse of axiom. So if M parallel to N, then angle 1 equal to angle, then corresponding angles are equal. Corresponding angles are equal. That is the first axiom. Then the second axiom is if corresponding angles, if one pair of corresponding angles is equal, then M parallel to N. So corresponding angles equal implies M parallel to N. So axiom, if M parallel to N, corresponding angles equal. Then the second axiom, if one pair of corresponding angles equal, then the lines parallel. So we cannot say corresponding angles are always equal. Corresponding angles are equal only when the lines are parallel. Only when the lines are parallel. Otherwise, the corresponding here in this figure, the corresponding angles are not equal. If lines are parallel, corresponding angles are equal. So that is the first axiom and the second axiom. Then the third axiom, alternate interior angles. If M parallel to N, then both the pairs of alternate interior angles are equal. If M parallel to N, then axiom 6. That is here it is written theorem 6.2. If a transversal intersect two parallel lines, then each pair of alternate interior angles is equal. That is theorem 6.2. If a transversal intersect two parallel lines, then each pair of alternate interior angles equal. That is angle 4 equal to angle 6, angle 3 equal to angle 5. That is, this is first one, this is second one, then third one. If M parallel to N, then each pair of alternate interior angles equal. Angle 3 equal to angle 5 and angle 4 equal to angle 6. That is theorem 6.2. Then the converse of this one is if any one pair of alternate interior angles equal. If any one pair of alternate interior angles equal, then the lines are parallel. So that is the fourth one. If angle 3 equal to, that is alternate interior angles. Alternate interior angles equal implies lines parallel. So that is the converse of this theorem. If any one pair of alternate interior angles, if a transversal intersected two lines such that a pair of alternate interior angles is equal, then the two lines are parallel. So here also we cannot say alternate interior angles are always equal. If lines are parallel, we can say alternate interior angles are equal. In this figure, alternate interior angles are not equal because here lines are not parallel. If lines are parallel, alternate interior angles are equal. Then the same way alternate exterior angle, but that theorem is not given here. If angle 1 and if alternate interior exterior angles are equal, if any one pair of alternate exterior angles is equal, then the lines are parallel. Or we can say that if the lines are parallel, then both the pairs of alternate exterior angles is equal. Then this is another theorem, co-interior angles. If a transversal intersect two parallel lines, then each pair of interior angles on the same side of a transversal is supplementary. So this is something different. If M parallel to 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth one, if M parallel to N implies angle 4 plus angle 5 equal to 180 degree, then angle 3 plus angle 6 equal to 180 degree. So here, if a transversal intersect two parallel lines, then each pair of corresponding angles on the same side of the transversal is supplementary. That means if M parallel to N, then angle 4 plus angle 5 equal to 180 degree, angle 3 plus angle 6 equal to 180 degree. That is theorem 5, and the converse of that theorem, that is just converse, if any one pair of co-interior angles is supplementary, then the lines are parallel. That is, if co-interior angle, that is angle 4 plus angle 5 equal to 180 degree, implies M parallel to N. So these are the theorems and axioms. So once again we will go through this. Lines parallel to the same place. So once again we can go through this. Transversal. If a line intersect two or more lines at different points, that is important. If a line intersect two or more lines at different points, then that line is called transversal. So here M and N are two lines, and L intersect M and N at different points. So we can say that L is a transversal. So here we have different pairs of angles. So first one is corresponding angles. So we have four pairs of corresponding angles. Angle 1 equal to angle 5, angle 4 equal to angle 8, angle 2 equal to angle 6, angle 3 equal to angle 7, corresponding angles. Then alternate interior angles. Alternate interior angles, angle 4 and angle 6 are alternate interior angles, angle 3 and angle 5 are alternate interior angles. Then alternate exterior angles. This one actually we are not using. Alternate exterior angles, angle 1 and angle 7, angle 2 and angle 8. Then co-interior angles or interior angles on the same side of the transversal. So this is the transversal. So interior angles on the same side, that is 4 and 5. And similarly 3 and 6. So 4 and 5, that is one pair. 3 and 6, that is another pair. Then now we can go through the axioms. Axiom 1. If a transversal intersect two parallel lines, then each pair of corresponding angles is equal. That is axiom 1. If a transversal intersect two parallel lines, then each pair of corresponding angles is equal. That is, if M parallel to N, then angle 1 equal to angle 5, angle 4 equal to angle 8, angle 2 equal to angle 6, angle 3 equal to angle 7. Only when the lines are parallel. So we cannot say corresponding angles are always equal. If lines are parallel, corresponding angles are equal. Then the converse of this one. When we say the converse, we need one pair. No need to show that all the pairs of corresponding angles are equal. If one pair of corresponding angles is equal, then automatically rest of the corresponding angles will be equal, then lines are parallel. So that is, if one pair of corresponding angles is equal, then line parallel to M parallel to N. So here, if M parallel to N, then all the pairs of corresponding angles equal. But here we will not write all the pairs, because if one pair equal, then automatically rest of the pairs will be equal. So if one pair of corresponding angles is equal, then the lines are parallel. The next one, if a transversal intersect two lines such that a pair of corresponding angles is. The next one, alternate interior angles. If a transversal intersect two parallel lines, then both the pairs of alternate interior angles is equal. Each pair of alternate interior angles is equal if L intersect, if M parallel to N, then angle 4 equal to angle 6, angle 3 equal to angle 5. Angle 3 equal to 5, 4 equal to 6 if M parallel to N. That is that theorem. And the converse of that theorem. When we say the converse of that theorem, one pair is sufficient. If a pair of alternate interior angles is equal, then the lines are parallel. Then co-interior angles, same way. If a transversal intersect two parallel lines, then both the pairs of co-interior angles is supplementary. That means if M parallel to N, then angle 4 plus 5, angle 4 plus angle 5 equal to 180 degree, angle 3 plus angle 6 equal to 180 degree. Supplementary means their sum is 180 degree. Then the converse, if one pair of co-interior angles is supplementary, then the lines are parallel. So these are the theorems. So you need to write the statement of the axioms and the theorems in your mathematics copy, and you need to draw the figure also. Then we have one more theorem. Then we will start exercise. So here, lines which are parallel to the same line are parallel to each other. Lines which are parallel to the same line, parallel to each other. Suppose L and M are parallel to N. That is L parallel to N and M parallel to N. So here L and M are parallel to the same line. Lines which are parallel to the same line are parallel to each other. So if L is parallel to N and M is parallel to N, that means L and M parallel to same line. Therefore, that line is parallel to each other. Therefore, we can say L is parallel to M. So that is the theorem. Lines parallel to the same line parallel to each other. So if L is parallel to N and M is parallel to N implies L parallel to M. L parallel to M, that is theorem 6. Statement also in your copy. Now we are going to do exercise 6.2. Exercise 6.2, question number 1. Exercise 6.2, question number 1. In figure is given. And here 50 degree A, B, C, D, and here X, Y 130 degree. Find the values of X and Y and then show that AB parallel to CD. That is our question. Find the values of X and Y, then show that AB parallel to CD. So here 50 and X, that two angles, that is linear pair, because this is a straight line and this is a ray stands on a line, therefore that two adjacent angles form linear pair. So their sum is 180 degree. So we can write a 50 plus X is equal to 180 degree, reason linear pair. Therefore X is equal to 180 minus 50, that is equal to 130 degree. We got the value of X 130 degree. Then here these two lines intersect at a point, therefore this is all vertically opposite angles. In previous class we learned one theorem, vertically opposite angles are equal. So we can say Y is equal to 130, reason vertically opposite angles. Now x is equal to 130, y is equal to 130. So here x is equal to y is equal to 130. X and y are equal 130, and also x and y are alternate interior angles. X and y are alternate interior angles. If alternate interior angles are equal, if a pair of alternate interior angles is equal, then the lines are parallel. Therefore, AB parallel to CD. In bracket we will write the statement. That is theorem. If a transversal intersect two lines such that a pair of alternate interior angles is equal, then the two lines are parallel. That is theorem 6.3. Theorem 6.3. But in examination we will not write the number. You need to write the statement. If a transversal intersect two lines such that a pair of corresponding angles is equal, then the lines are parallel. So here x and y are alternate interior angles, and here they are equal. So we can say the lines are parallel, AB parallel to CD. That is question number 1. Now we will do second question. Second one. Here AB parallel to CD, CD parallel to EF. We have one figure. AB, then CD, then EF, and this is a transversal, and here it is X, Y, and Z. So here the given conditions: AB parallel to CD, then CD parallel to EF, and Y is to Z equal to 3 is to 7. Y is to Z is equal to 3 is to 7. Then find the X. Find the X. That is our question. We need to find the value of X. We need to find the value of X. Here AB parallel to CD and CD parallel to EF. So we can say that AB parallel to EF. That is the last theorem. AB parallel to CD and CD parallel to EF. That means the AB and the EF parallel to the same line. Therefore, AB parallel to EF. So we can use that statement. Y is to Z is equal to 3 is to 7. So we can take let Y is equal to 3A. Ratio is given, Y is to Z is equal to 3 is to 7. So we can take Y is equal to 3A and Z is equal to 7A. Usually we take 3x and 7x, but here one x is there. So that's why we are using another variable. Y is equal to 3A and Z is equal to 7A. Then AB parallel to CD and CD parallel to EF. That is given. Therefore, AB parallel to EF. So in bracket we will write that theorem statement. We will write theorem 6.6. Now I am writing only number theorem 6.6, but you will write the statement of that theorem. So AB parallel to EF. If AB parallel to EF, then we can say angle X is equal to angle Z. Angle X is equal to Z. AB parallel to EF, and this is a transversal. So angle X and angle Z are equal because they are alternate interior angles. Alternate interior angles. Lines are parallel, transversal. So alternate interior angles equal. X is equal to Z. Then we have X plus Y is equal to 180 degree, because AB parallel to CD, that is given. AB parallel to CD, that is given. So X and Y are co-interior angles or angles on the same side of the transversal. So if AB parallel to CD, then their sum is 180 degree. Reason co-interior angles. Co-interior angles. Now x and z are equal. So x plus y. So here x and z are equal. So x can be replaced by z. Z plus y is equal to 180 degree. Z plus y is equal to 180 degree. And here z is equal to 7a. 7a plus, and y is equal to 3a. 3a equal to 180. So 7 plus 3, that is a 10. A is equal to 180 degree. Therefore a is equal to 180 divided by 10, that is equal to 18. So the value of a equal to 18. From here we can find the value of x. So we need to find x. So x is equal to z. X and z are equal. X is equal to z is equal to 7a. 7a equal to 7 into 18. So we will get a 126 degree. So that is the value of x is equal to 126 degree we got. So that is the answer. Once again, here AB parallel to CD and CD parallel to EF. Therefore AB parallel to EF. Therefore AB parallel to EF. And here ratio between y and z, that is given. Y is to z is equal to 3 is to 7. So let y is equal to 3a, z is equal to 7a. Then AB parallel to EF. If AB parallel to EF and this is a transversal, so we can say x and z are alternate interior angles, they are equal. Then x plus y equal to 180 degree co-interior angles, and x can be replaced by z because since x is equal to z, x and z are equal, so z plus y is equal to 180 degree. And here z is equal to 7a, z is equal to 7a and y is equal to 3a. So 7a plus 3a equal to 180 degree. 10a equal to 180 degree. A is equal to 180 upon 10, 18. So after getting the value of a, we need to find the value of x. So x equal to z equal to 7a equal to 7 into 18, that is 126 degree. So now we are going to do question number 3. Third one. AB, CD, and here G, F, 90 degree, E. So that is the given figure. In figure, AB parallel to CD. AB parallel to CD. AB parallel to CD. AB and CD are two parallel lines. EF perpendicular to CD. EF perpendicular to CD, that means this angle 90 degree. And angle GED 120 degree. Angle GED equal to 120 degree. Angle GED, that means this angle is 120 degree. Find the first one, angle AGE, then angle GEF, angle FGE. So that is our question. So here AB parallel to CD, that is given, and EF perpendicular to CD 90 degree, that is given. Angle GED 120 degree. We need to find AGE. First we have to find the AGE. So here AB parallel to CD, and we can take it as a transversal. AB parallel to CD, and this is a transversal. So alternate interior angles are equal. So if lines are parallel, alternate interior angles are equal. So we can write down angle AGE equal to angle GED. Alternate interior angles. Then angle GED 120 degree. So we got angle AGE is equal to 120 degree. So first part we got angle AGE is equal to 120 degree. Now we have to find angle GEF. Angle GEF. So here this angle is 120 degree and here it is 90 degree. Therefore we can easily find this part, that is 120 minus 90. So angle GEF is equal to angle GED. Angle GEF, that is this angle, is equal to angle GED minus angle FED. Minus angle FED. Angle GED, that is 120, minus angle FED, that is 90. So 120 minus 90, that is 30 degree. So we got angle GEF is equal to 30 degree. The next we need to find angle FGE. Angle FGE. So here angle FGE. So here we got 120 degree. Angle AGE 120 degree we got. So we can easily find angle FGE. That is angle AGE plus angle FGE. Angle AGE plus angle FGE equal to 180 degree. Reason linear pair. Linear pair. And angle AGE already we got 120. That is 120 plus angle FGE is equal to 180. Therefore angle FGE is equal to 180 minus 120, that is equal to 60 degree. So we got angle FGE is equal to 60 degree. So now we got all the three angles. Now we will do fourth question. Question number 4. Here we have one figure. P, Q, R, S, T. P, Q, R, S, T. And here 110 degree. 110 degree. And this is 130 degree. 130 degree. Then our question. In figure 6.31, if PQ parallel to ST, given condition PQ parallel to ST, that is PQ parallel to ST, that is given. Angle PQR 110 degree, that is already given in the figure, PQR 110 degree. Angle RST 130 degree. Find angle QRS. Find the angle QRS. That is our question. We need to find the angle QRS. So here in this figure, PQ parallel to ST, and two more angles given. This is 110 degree and this is 130 degree. We need to find angle QRS. So here we need a construction. We have a construction. If the given figure is not sufficient to find the solution, then we can do some extra lines, extra constructions. So we can do some additional, we can draw some additional lines, segmental lines, etc. So that is construction. So here we are going to draw a line passing through R parallel to PQ. So if it is parallel to PQ, then it will be parallel to ST because PQ parallel to ST. So the construction is draw, we can name it as XY. So when we do construction, so that is additional drawing, so that can be in dotted line. So draw XY, that is our construction. Draw XY parallel to PQ parallel to ST through the point R. So that is the construction. Draw XY parallel to PQ parallel to ST through the point R. Now we can find the QRS. So here this angle is 110 degree. Then PQ parallel to XY. PQ parallel to XY. Reason construction. xy parallel to PQ, xy parallel to PQ or PQ parallel to xy, that is construction. Therefore angle P, if these two lines are parallel lines, so these two lines are parallel lines, so we can take it as a transversal. Two lines, then a transversal. So when we take a transversal, then this angle and this one, alternate interior angles. So if lines are parallel, alternate interior angles are equal. So we can say angle QRY, angle QRY equal to angle QRY, that means that this angle QRY is equal to angle PQR, angle PQR, angle QRY, angle QRY is equal to angle PQR. So angle QRY, that is angle QRS plus angle SRY. Angle QRS plus angle. So here we will write angle QRY is equal to angle PQR. PQR is equal to 110 degree. Before that we need to find this angle. So we will write ST parallel to XY. So or PQ parallel, from here we will find this angle. This angle we will find first. Then this one plus this one equal to this. So that is. So we will write a PQ parallel to XY. Once again you just listen here. This is our construction. Then PQ parallel to XY. That is the construction. Then if PQ parallel to XY, then these two angles are angles on the interior angles on the same side of the transversal. So their sum is always 180 degree. So we can say angle PQR plus angle PQR plus angle QRX, angle QRX equal to 180 degree. Reason, co-interior angles. Co-interior angles. So angle PQR, that is 110 plus angle QRX, angle QRX is equal to 180 degree. Therefore angle QRX is equal to 180 minus 110, that is equal to 70 degree. So this angle we got 70 because their sum is 180 degree. Now we have to find QRS. So here ST parallel to XY, ST parallel to XY. Reason, construction. If ST parallel to XY, then we can take it as a transversal, and when we take it as a transversal, alternate interior angles are equal. So angle SRX, this angle and this one will be same. So angle SRX equal to angle RTS. So here it is given TSR, angle TSR, angle TSR. Reason, alternate interior angles. ST parallel to XY, this is a transversal, so alternate interior angles. This one and this one are alternate interior angles, so they are equal. So angle SRX is equal to angle SRX equal to angle TSR. So these two angles are equal. Angle SRX is angle sum of these two angles, that is angle QRS plus angle QRS plus then this one. That angle is angle QRX. Angle QRX is equal to, and here it is given 130 degree. That is angle QRS plus angle QRX already got 70 degree. So this one plus 70 equal to 130 degree. Therefore angle QRS is equal to 130 minus 70, that is equal to 60 degree. So we got angle QRS is equal to 60 degree. So here first step is we will draw a line XY parallel to PQ parallel to ST through the point R. That is construction. Then second, if these two lines are parallel, then co-interior angles, their sum is 180 degree. So if it is 110, then it will be 70 degree. That is 70 degree. Co-interior angles. Then we will take this line parallel to this one. So alternate interior angles are equal. This one and this one are equal. So here this angle is angle QRS plus 70. QRS plus 70 equal to 130. QRS plus 70 equal to 130. Therefore QRS is 130 minus 70, 60 degree. We have two more questions. Question number 5. AB, CD, and here P, Q, R, 50 degree, and this one X, 127 degree, and here AB parallel to CD, AB parallel to CD, AB parallel to CD. Angle APQ is equal to 50 degree, that is given. Angle PRD 127, that is given. Find X and Y. So we need to find the values of X and Y. So here AB parallel to CD. If AB parallel to CD, AB parallel to CD, AB parallel to CD, so we can take it PQ as a transversal. AB parallel to CD, PQ is a transversal. So X and 50 are alternate interior angles. So we can say X is equal to 50 degree. Alternate interior angles. Alternate interior angles are equal. Then AB parallel to CD, then PR is a transversal. AB parallel to CD and PR is a transversal. Therefore 50 plus Y is equal to 127. Alternate interior angles. So we can write also 50 plus Y is equal to 127. Reason alternate interior angles. Therefore Y is equal to 127 minus 50. That is equal to from here we will 77 degree. So Y is equal to 77 degree. 127 minus 50. So we got Y is equal to 77 and X is equal to 50 degree. Then we have one more question, that is the last one. Question number 6. Here we have figure PQ RS A, B, C, D. So here PQ and RS are two mirrors placed parallel to each other. So this is a prove the question. So given condition, PQ parallel to RS. PQ and RS are two mirrors. Two mirror. PQ is a mirror and RS is another mirror parallel to each other. Two mirrors parallel to each other. And an incident ray AB strikes the mirror PQ at B. So incident ray AB. An incident ray AB strikes the mirror PQ at B. An incident ray AB strikes the mirror PQ at B. The reflected ray moves along the path BC. Incident ray strikes at B, now reflected back, moves along the path BC and strikes the mirror RS at C and again reflects back along CD. Prove that AB parallel to CD. So we need to prove AB parallel to CD. So that is our question. To prove AB parallel to CD. So once again, here we have two mirrors PQ and RS. They are parallel to each other. And AB is incident ray, strikes PQ at B, then it reflects, then strikes RS at C, then again it reflects. Then we need to show AB parallel to CD. So here also we have construction. So here we can draw two perpendiculars. One perpendicular at B and another one at C. So dotted line. So we can take it as draw BL and CN. So draw BL perpendicular to PQ and CN perpendicular to RS. So BL perpendicular to PQ and CN perpendicular to RS. So this is our construction. Then proof. Then BL perpendicular to PQ, then PQ parallel to RS. Therefore we can say that BL perpendicular to RS. Reason, BL perpendicular to PQ and PQ parallel to RS. So BL perpendicular to RS, because a line perpendicular to one line perpendicular to all the lines parallel to this. Suppose one line perpendicular, L perpendicular to M. If L is perpendicular to M, then L is perpendicular to all the lines parallel to M. Suppose these all lines are parallel to M, then this L is perpendicular to these all lines. So similarly, BL perpendicular to PQ, therefore BL will be perpendicular to all the lines parallel to PQ. So RS is parallel to PQ, so BL perpendicular to RS. So we can write BL perpendicular to PQ. Reason, construction. Then PQ parallel to RS, that is given. Therefore BL perpendicular to RS. So the reason, line perpendicular to one line perpendicular to all the lines parallel to that line. So BL perpendicular to RS. Then CN perpendicular to RS. CN perpendicular to RS. That is construction. So here it is given CN perpendicular to RS. So now BL perpendicular to RS and CN perpendicular to RS. So both the lines BL perpendicular to RS, CN perpendicular to RS. So both the lines are perpendicular to the same line. Therefore that two lines are parallel to each other. Suppose one line, these two lines are perpendicular to the same line. L and M perpendicular to PQ. That means a 90 degree, 90 degree. So 90 degree, 90 degree, they are corresponding angles. If corresponding angles are equal, then the lines are parallel. So we can say L parallel to M. So here CN perpendicular to RS. Therefore we can say BL parallel to CN. The reason, two lines perpendicular to the same line parallel to each other. Two lines perpendicular to the same line parallel to each other. Two lines perpendicular to the same line parallel to each other. So now we are going to take this angle. So we can take this angle, this one angle 1, angle 2, then 3 and 4. So here angle 1 equal to angle 2. Angle 1 equal to angle 2. In lower class you studied up. In physics you studied up. This is incident ray and this is reflected ray and this is normal perpendicular. So angle of incidence is angle between incident ray and normal. Angle of reflection is angle between a reflected ray and the normal. So angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. So this is called angle of incidence. This is called angle of reflection. So angle of incidence is angle between incident ray and normal. Angle of reflection, incident ray and normal. This is angle of incidence. Angle of reflection is angle between a reflected ray and normal. So angle of incidence equal to angle of reflection. Angle 1 equal to angle 2. Angle 1 equal to angle 2 and angle 3 equal to angle 4. Reason? Angle of incidence equal to angle of reflection. Angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. Angle 1 equal to angle 2, angle 3 equal to angle 4. Then BL parallel to CN. BL parallel to CN. We will write one more time. BL parallel to CN. Proved above. BL parallel to CN. BL parallel to CN. Proved above. Therefore, angle 2 and angle 3 are alternate interior angles. So BL parallel to CN and this is a transversal. So angle 2 and angle 3 are alternate interior angles. So angle 2 equal to angle 3. Reason? Alternate interior angles. Angle 2 equal to angle 3. Alternate interior angles. Now we can multiply both the sides of this equation by 2. 2 into angle 2 equal to 2 into angle 3. Multiplying both the sides by 2. Multiplying by 2. So when we multiply an equation, both the sides by same number, then LHS and RHS will be same. Then 2 into angle 2. 2 into angle 2 is angle 2 plus angle 2. 2 into angle 2 plus angle 2 is 2 into angle 2. And angle 3 plus angle 3 is 2 into angle 3. Then here angle 2 and angle 1 are equal. So this angle 2 can be replaced by angle 1. That is angle 1 plus this one same angle 2 equal to this one same angle 3 plus this angle 3 can be replaced by angle 4. Angle 4. So here angle 1 plus angle 2 equal to angle 3 plus angle 4. Angle 1 plus angle 2, that is angle ABC. Angle ABC equal to angle 3 plus angle 4, that is angle BCD. Angle BCD. Then angle ABC and angle BCD are alternate interior angles. If alternate interior angles are equal, then lines are parallel. So we will write down also angle ABC and angle BCD are alternate interior angles. Therefore, if alternate interior angles are equal, then the lines are parallel. Therefore, AB parallel to CD. So we got the result of AB parallel to CD. So once again I will explain. So here the given conditions. Two parallel mirrors PQ and RS. PQ parallel to RS. We need to prove AB parallel to CD. AB is incident ray. Now it is reflected. And at this point, this is incident ray, then this is reflected ray. So construction, we need to prove AB parallel to CD. So if we can prove angle ABC equal to angle BCD, then AB parallel to CD, because angle ABC and angle BCD are alternate interior angles. So we are trying to prove angle ABC equal to angle BCD. Then construction, draw BL perpendicular to PQ and CN perpendicular to RS. Construction. So BL perpendicular to PQ. Construction. And PQ parallel to RS. Given. Therefore BL perpendicular to RS. BL perpendicular to RS. Then CN perpendicular to RS. That is construction. So BL and CN perpendicular to the same line. Therefore BL parallel to CN. Therefore BL parallel to CN. Two lines perpendicular to the same line parallel to each other. Then angle 1 equal to angle 2, because angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. In physics you studied. Then similarly here angle 3, this is incident ray Then this is normal and this is reflected ray. So we can say angle 3 equal to angle 4. Angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. Same reason. Then BL parallel to CN. Once again we will write up. If BL parallel to CN, then angle 2 and angle 3 are alternate interior angles. If lines are parallel, this is a transversal. Parallel lines, transversal. So angle 2 equal to angle 3. Alternate interior angles. Then we can multiply both the sides by 2. 2 into angle 2 equal to 2 into angle 3. Then 2 into angle 2, that is angle 2 plus angle 2, that is 2 into angle 2. And 2 into angle 3, that is angle 3 plus angle 3. Then angle 2 plus angle 2. So one of this angle, angle 2 can be replaced by angle 1 because they are equal. Second one same. This one same. This one can be replaced. Angle 3 can be replaced by angle 4. Now angle 1 plus 2. Angle 1 plus 2, that is angle ABC. Angle 3 plus angle 4. Angle 3 plus angle 4, that is angle BCD. Angle ABC and angle BCD are alternate interior angles. If alternate interior angles are equal, then lines are parallel. So we can prove AB parallel to CD. So we got the result.